Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick from the city of Hampton. And today we're going to introduce you to some folks behind an organization that is focused around athletics and young people. My guests are Coach Richard Hall and Nina Harris Robinson. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So your group is called Peninsula Former Athletes.
Yes.
We don't like the word former too much, though, but we're emphasizing that you're beyond the high school athlete years, right?
Yes,
ma'am.
Why did you guys help form this group?
Well, it was started in 2014 by Michael Mills. He was officiating an AAU game and had some interaction with some student athletes at that game. And then he talked to Tico Winder, and they talked, and the organization was started at that point.
Because, you know, why? It's like you form these close bonds with teammates when you're in high school. And then when you're grown up, you know, it's not like a fraternity or sorority where you keep going in that vein.
Right.
But these people, you kind of lived with them for years practically.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
So let's back up and talk about your high school careers.
Okay. I'm a Bethel graduate, 1976. I played football and basketball. I'm a graduate of Norfolk State.
And what are you doing now?
I'm a retired teacher. I'm the assistant boys varsity basketball coach at Kingtown High School presently. And I also do a lot of substitute teaching.
All right, and Nina?
And I went to Bethel High School, graduated in 1981. I ran track for Bethel. I was a football manager. And then I went off to college and ran track at North Carolina Central. And I'm currently working for the Army as a logistics management specialist. And
you have some other high school connections, perhaps with your children?
Yes, both of my sons, they're Phoebus grads, and one was 04 and one was 2010. They're both on the state championship. So right now I'm currently the only family in the city of Hampton that has the most rings. I have 7 state championship rings in my home.
Holy cow, that's impressive.
Yes.
So, you know, explain to people what athletics meant in your life, what high school, because you're really focused on high school athletics. What was it like for you in that time period? How did it help you as you became a person, became a grown-up?
Yes, well, I played football and basketball, and through athletics, it really helps me to understand how teamwork is important and to have a role model, a good role model. Coach Cos was a football coach, and Coach Hitz was my basketball coach, so they were very instrumental in my development over the years. And, give and take, when you win, when you lose, we're all feeling the same way, and we have to bring each other up when we're down. And it was a lot of teamwork to be a cohesive unit in high school, and we all worked together for a common goal. And being a part of the 1974 state football team, that really showed a lot of cohesiveness and camaraderie during that time. Very instrumental to me growing up, never to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep, same here. Coming under the same program that he came under. I'm working very closely with Coach Cos as one of his football managers, and also, bless her heart, Miss Patricia Kovaz. She was our track coach, and she instilled in us family. They really believed in family because they would come to your homes, they got to know your parents. If you got out of line, you didn't want to get out of line with the coaches because you'd be like, well, just call my mama, because if you had to deal with Coach Cos and Kovaz, you knew you had to deal with the repercussions.
So what is your organization going to do? Why, what brings you together besides that camaraderie?
Well, actually, Michael Mills has a vision to help student athletes or just help students. Our program is geared towards not just student athletes, but all students. Like through our mentoring program, we're going to probably start in the middle school, because we're in the process of getting it organized, and we're going to work with the school system as far as getting our people in place, and you have to go through a certain protocol before you can go into the school. So we're going through that process right now. We plan on having our mentoring program up and running at the end of January, the 1st of February.
That's a good time to get started. It's not the beginning of the school year. People aren't crazy. It's a little bit slower time.
Yeah. And we're going to look at at-risk kids. We're going to talk to guidance counselors. We're going to talk to principals. We're going to talk to teachers. And we're going to target those kids that really need some help, because you always need somebody to talk to.
You do, absolutely.
Always.
At that age in particular.
Yes.
You can't always
Yes.
talk to your parents, there's
Yes.
just
Exactly.
a lot going on.
Yes.
Well, Hampton, and maybe the rest of the 757 too, but we are known for our athletes. I mean,
Yes.
we have a lot of star power
Yes.
in Hampton and the vicinity's graduates.
Yes.
How does that come into your organization, or does it?
Well, a lot of our athletes are well known. We have Woodrow Wilson, Simon Gupton. We also have Tico Winder. All these are former athletes that play sports, and they are basically Tico was my role model coming up. So, and hopefully that the kids can see that these gentlemen were very good athletes, and they did, go through the process, and then out here being productive citizens. That's our goal, is to produce productive citizens. So hopefully.
And you had an event right before Thanksgiving that brought some of the big star power into town. And tell us about how you work with some of those, people who are or have been in the pros.
Go ahead, Nick.
Well, the roast is another way of bringing people together. And over the years, this is like an annual event that we have. And now it's gotten so big that we've had to get a bigger venue.
Oh my gosh, that's great
Yeah,
success.
and
Yes.
we have, we got a lot of ex-Peninsula players that's going to be there that made it into the NFL, the NBA. So we want them to come back, just to give back to their community and to show that, hey, I'm not above y'all. I'm still like y'all.
I think that makes such a difference to kids. I was just talking to somebody who, your dream when you're playing high school athletics, whether it's girls basketball, boys basketball, lacrosse, hockey, swimming, whatever, is to be the best.
That's right.
And there isn't a lot of room in the professional ranks
Yes.
for all the kids who want it. And
No.
so if that's what you've worked for, then, what happens after high school? What happens after college if you get to play college?
Right.
For a lot of kids, it isn't going to be the pros. So how do they still, keep a dream alive or work for what their, real life is going to be?
Yeah, well, we have to we have to explain to them how it can happen. If you can't be a professional, you can still be successful. You don't have to be a professional athlete. We're gonna try to have some programs in place in the future that will help our kids, develop after high school or after college, even if they're not, pro material or able to make it into professional athletes, become professional athletes. But our goal is to make sure that we produce productive citizens.
Well, and what's interesting is there's so much need here and across the peninsula and south side. I keep forgetting. I think, peninsula athletes, but do you you're going to include south side folks, or is it mostly peninsula?
Well, really,
Okay.
right now, we're on the peninsula side. We're Hampton, Newport News, Grafton, Tabb, Pocosin, Yorktown.
And you're
Williamsburg.
looking for members from
Yes,
those areas. Obviously,
yes,
you're both.
yes.
You have Hampton pretty well covered, though, when you
Yes,
got Bethel
yes.
and Phoebus
and-
connections here.
Yeah, and right
Yeah.
now we're about 50 strong, and majority are from Hampton and Bethel, and we got majority Phoebus, a few Kickertan, but our main goal is right now is to try to start recruiting the other
You need
cities.
some more adults to get involved.
Yeah,
Yes,
more
yes.
cities.
Different kids respond to different adults. And especially if you're starting in the middle school years,
Right.
when I just think that's it was the worst time of my life. I don't know about anybody else, but it's hard.
Yeah.
You're changing so quickly,
Exactly.
and there's cliques, and you're excluded, and you got all kinds
Yeah.
of things going on to have that presence, and also maybe to guide people, because some kids are going to be drawn to athletics, some might be drawn to music, some might be drawn to poetry. There's all kinds of things out there, and so
Exactly.
they're not going to click
Right.
with the same adults necessarily.
Right. But, we just want to be the role model to show them that they can make it happen. They can be successful. They don't have to be a victim to society where it can go down the wrong path. We definitely want to prevent that. We may not get them all, but we want to try to get as many as possible.
Sure, and the more often and from different people that our young folks hear that, it can help them stay motivated and
Yes.
and inspired to
Exactly.
perform.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because the main thing is with the kids today, you got so much bullying, you know, and
cyberbullying. I mean, stuff
Yes.
that didn't exist when I was in
no,
school.
we didn't have no cell phone. We walked around and we could carry it to school. So that's where the trouble is starting, from the bullying, you know, and you're hearing too many kids are committing suicides.
Oh, it's crazy.
You know, and it's so sad. And I'm like, wow, thank God I don't have any kids in the school system right now, because I'll probably be at the school every day. But if we could just save one or two, we'll feel like we've accomplished something. And so many kids are just reaching out. They're screaming inside. They don't know who to go to. Can't go to their teachers. But if we put a foundation together here in our community where they can just pick up the phone and say, hey, Miss Nina, I mean, example, last night I got a call from an ex-player, and he was like, I just can't talk to my parents, but I can trust you. I can talk to you about a situation that's going on. I felt honored that at least he reached out to somebody, and I was able to calm him down and give him some advice, you know, whether he take it or not, but at least I pray that I gave him the right advice, that he can be able to continue on and deal with the situation he's having right now.
Well, that's great. Okay, so we're looking for more people who have lettered in a sport on the Peninsula who are ready to get involved and give back to the community.
Yes.
There's got to be a lot of those, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot. But it's strictly volunteer now. Strictly volunteer. We know that people got other responsibilities and families and jobs, you know. So it's strictly volunteer, and we're open, you know, to any former athlete that's interested. They can come, and we can fill out an application and give them some insight, because Nina and Quentin does a good job of that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, how do they get in touch with you?
We have a website. We have email,
Facebook
Facebook.
and Instagram.
Oh, so you're where they are.
Yes.
Be is, you know, the main place
That's
to
the
be
main
now, I
place
think.
right now.
Yeah.
You can reach them on Facebook.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to add before we close?
Well, we just like to get as many Peninsula former athletes as possible. We like to bring anyone that give us more resources. Just feel free to give us a call. You know, we'll welcome you.
Okay.
Open arms.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for watching. I hope if you were a high school athlete here and feel that passion for what you got when you were here as an athlete, that you will come back and try to give some of it to the athletes and the pre-athletes and people who are in school now. Thanks for watching.